Hey guys, 50 here, just doing a real quick review on the Savage 10BA Stealth, chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. This is an excellent long-range bolt-action rifle that I just picked up recently. The Msrp on this is about 1207 up to 13. I ended up getting it for $850 this week. Added the Harris bipod on it with the Vortex Viper PST scope. This is a 6-24 by 50 millimeter objective lens. Great piece of glass. Might do a separate review on this. This one, it happens to be an MRAD. But if you're living in America and you're new to long range shooting, I would suggest MOA over MRAD. MRAD is in centimeters, milliradians, and your MOA is in inches, so you'd be able to, but both are just a unit of measuring angles, so either way you'll be fine, but I feel MOA is easier to pick up on for newer shooters, and especially American shooters. It comes with a solid billet monolithic chassis. This is all one piece of aluminum here, all the way down to the buttstock here. You could adjust this, change it out quickly, just your AR style buttstock. This one here has an adjustable cheek riser. You have two of these knobs on each side that you can tighten down to raise your height to where you like it. Everything's adjustable. You have a nice rubber butt pad on here. It's a little bit spiky, but it's not real too aggressive. It's nice and soft. So one thing I like about the 6.5 Creedmoor is it doesn't kick hard anyway, but you get that great accuracy. Let me open up one of these boxes for those of you who may not seen a 6.5 Creedmoor. Very cool round. The ballistic coefficient is very high, and it's especially in the short action class. This is one of the best rounds you could shoot for long range for accuracy. It's basically a neck down 308 casing. So you could use your old 308 case, brass if you reload. And it has a really long cylindrical round here. That's what gives it such a high ballistic coefficient number. Just a great round. I was getting sub half MOA all day long with this 100, 200. Now out ranges past 200-300. Is when it gets a little bit iffy. I mean, it can go out to however long you want to shoot it. It's still that the shape of that bullet and the powder and the way it's made. This is one of the lowest drags for a bullet for a round. That means less wind drift, less adjustments you need to make because the bullet's going to go where you shoot it. Enough about the round. You have comes with a 10 round magazine. Again, it's Mark 308, so you can use a 308 mag. Of course, the Savage Accu trigger. I really love this trigger. It's probably one of the best factory triggers. Some people may not like it, but I love that this is pushing back most of your trigger weight. After you get this set into the trigger pretty much breaks right after that. Very nice, easy to adjust. It's adjustable, so you can adjust the poundage on it. The barrel is a 1-in-8 twist. It's fluted. And you have a 5/8 by 24 threaded barrel with a thread protector on the end. M-lock rail mounts, and it has a stock pin, or not a stock, a sling pin under here to add on your stocks if you need to, or you can just add M-lock attachments to add whatever the hell you want to add on there. There is the markings here. This is a short action, so if I wanted to, I could change the barrel out for a more common caliber like 308, things like that nature. But one thing I love about this round, besides the high accuracy, is it's getting more and more easy to find this round just about anywhere you go. Of course, it's not as easy like 9mm. You can get up to Walmart, but any gun store should probably be stocked with this round. That's why I didn't choose the, oh yeah, and the pricing is great on that. Runs pretty close right to par with your 308s, 30-06s, rounds like that. Is the where if I would have went with the 338 Lapua or a around like a 2670 Winchester, you know, rounds like that, they're almost impossible to find. But if you do find them, they're very expensive. So this is a great rifle to start out with if you're looking for a long range setup and just getting into it, or even if you have experience and don't want to spend that much and get some bang for your buck. Highly, highly recommend this. I might add in some video here of me shooting with it, but I'm almost getting a little bit tired of seeing just somebody sitting behind a rifle shooting at something video. And it really doesn't show anything. The action is nice and smooth. No complaints there. The hardest is after you pull the trigger. See, it just reset the trigger here. Getting it, just that first lift up of that bolt, but after that it's pretty smooth action there. I'm barely pushing it at all and it's sliding along easily. So it's a great action. It's the factory blueprint bolt from Savage. You have your push button safety here and your Picatinny rod to mount your scope on. Again, what I'm running on my scope is a Vortex Viper PST with loop-holed 30mm rings. This is a MRAD. Of course, you got your 0.1 MRAD adjustments each click, and this scope has the CRS stop. So if I'm going up and making a lot of adjustments back at yardage, say 1,000 yards, and I forget where my zero is, there's shims. After you take these screws out, you put in some shims, and that's what this line's for too. But you could just keep going all the way back down. It's going to go past your zero, but it's going to stop. It's stopping right there. So I know, hey, I'm to the point of the zero. All I have to do is realign, mark that. I could either go off that mark with the zero, or I have this red marker up here that will line up with that red mark there, and it just gives you an easy way to get back to your zero without having to count how many clicks you did or if you forgot it. Also has a parallax adjustment on it. Goes from 25 yards all the way out to, I forget the last yardage adjustment on this, 500, but you have an infinity mark there, so that should let you know. This is a 6-24 by 50mm. And you also have an illuminated reticle on here. With each click in between is an offsetting. So I can go 2, brightness level, off, 3, off. So you always have an offsetting right next to wherever you're at. This is your focus lens on here. This hardly ever gets adjusted. Once you get it set in, when you first get it, it pretty much stays exactly where it's at. You don't have to adjust that. And this is your magnification adjustment from 6. You turn it right to get up to your 24 if you need to. And this is a first focal plane scope. The actual scope ends about right here, and this comes with it. It's just a sunshade, so the length is actually much smaller. It's about right there if you can see that. Not too big, but again, for guys that might not know what first focal plane is, when you're looking through your scope and you go to adjust your zoom level, your reticle is going to increase in size. So you get, if you're going to get into this, I highly, highly, highly recommend getting a first focal plane scope. That's going to make a lot less calculations when you're ranging your targets, the distance, when you're going off your adjustments. It doesn't matter what magnification you're at, you'll have the same adjustment size. That is what a first focal plane scope gives you, and the advantages it gives you, absolutely worth it. Whereas if you were on second focal plane, you would have to turn it down to the lowest magnification, zero your rifle there, and you would actually have to range everything, make your adjustments off the lowest magnification, because when you go to zoom in on your target to identify, all your range adjustments and mathematics off of that will be off the size does not change with the magnification. This video is getting a little bit long here. I didn't think I'd go this long on just a quick overview. Here is this side view of it. Pretty nice thick bolt handle here. Any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to talk with you guys about long range shooting. I am moving over from MOA to MRAD, so if you have any suggestions, I would love to hear them. And if you are new to this, I highly recommend doing this as well. Before I do that, let me show you what the reticle looks like in the scope. This is an R1m Red Reticle, and this is what it looks like in the scope. This is what illuminates only, is this red mil line indicator here. And as you can see, you have all kinds of different sizing. That's what you use for your target ranging and making adjustments on your windage and elevation. This comes in very handy. But this is the EBR1 reticle. I mean, you have adjustments up to the 0.2 MRADs to here. You even have your black outside heavy crosshair. You have adjustments on those. So anywhere you can think of, and it tells you in the manual your sizes on the different adjustments there. That is the EBR1 reticle. And as I was saying, if you're new to this, I highly recommend getting a notebook like this. Anything like that will do, a notepad, but make sure it's big or small enough for you to keep on you at all times. And here is my adjustments. I'm writing all this stuff down, so all I have to do is look it up if I get lost. But instead of just using an app or a calculator for every math that I'm trying to do, I'm trying to remember all of these. So in case I'm in a hurry one time and I need to use a scope, I don't have to go, well, wait, what's that number at 400 yards? I have that all down, and I'm getting a lot better at it. One way to target range, this might be different if you're using an MOA scope. This is for MRAD. You take your target height. Doesn't matter if you're using inches, yards, meters, centimeters, whatever. But you're going to get that, whatever you're using, as your distance. So if you're using inches and times it by 1,000, divided by how tall the object is in your scope, how many mils, you're going to, if you're doing the target height in inches, you're going to get your distance in inches. But there is formulas for converting all that stuff, so I highly recommend writing all that down and using what applies to you the most. Like right here is converting inches to yards, etc., etc. Alright, there she is, the Savage BA Stealth. Absolutely 100% recommend it. It's a great rifle, especially if you're starting out, even if you're professional.